Liberty Media's owners of Formula One are about to shake things up even more by acquiring MotoGP. This means both two-wheeled and four-wheeled racing will be under one roof. Reports suggest that they're already brainstorming innovative ideas to merge the two championships, including the creation of a thrilling event called the SuperGP. Exciting, right? So let's dive into this video today to uncover the details of Liberty Media's radical agenda and how it will revolutionize the future of racing. Here we begin. Liberty Media has been in charge of Formula One since 2016. They might also take over MotoGP. If both sports come under one roof, they could even compete at the same place on the same weekend. They've even come up with a name for this combined event, SuperGP, like the Superbowl but on wheels. However, Liberty Media knows there are problems with this idea. One big issue is logistics. Not every track is set up for both cars and bikes at the same time, and there isn't enough space in the garages, paddocks, offices, and hospitality areas. One solution could be to cut out some support events at certain races, like Formula 2, Formula 3, Moto2, and Moto3. That way, Formula 1 and MotoGP would only need room for two championships and all their stuff. F1 and MotoGP currently use the same tracks in 5 places: Qatar, Barcelona, the Red Bull Ring in Austria, Silverstone, and Austin. They're even planning a new circuit in Madrid that can host both types of racing. From a safety and technology standpoint, having both cars and bikes race on the same weekend is feasible. Once Liberty Media has control of MotoGP 2, they'll introduce fresh ideas to boost both sports. MotoGP and F1 doubleheader can't be ruled out. Now that Liberty owns both F1 and MotoGP, people wonder how they can work together. Carlos Ezpeleta from Dorna talked about this new deal in an interview with motorsport.com and the MotoGP podcast Por Orellas. Having both Formula 1 and MotoGP races on the same weekend at the same track could happen someday. Ezpeleta said, "Well, it's something that at the moment, for obvious reasons, is not in the immediate plans, and it's not something that we are working on, but it's not something that we are ruling out for the medium-term future either." Continuing, "But having said that, the reality is that it makes limited sense because at the end of the day, we have some events with our own fan base, which is different in most places to the Formula One fan base. They sell out in many circuits, and so do we, so getting all of us together in the same event on the same weekend has difficulties, and the return on investment is not very clear today. Also, it is said then you also have problems with the different sponsors, the TV cameras, so it is a project, or it would be a rather complicated project, let's say. Then again, there are a number of circuits that can run both series, but there are not so many. So it is a project that is not discarded, but we are not working on it either. It would be a challenge to ensure both series can have all their races and support events. It needs cooperation from F1's governing body, the FIA, and MotoGP's governing body, FIM. Combining these big series would also bring logistical challenges and increased demand for weekend tickets because circuits have limited space. Greg Maffei confident Liberty Media deal will meet regulatory approval. Right now, Liberty Media taking over MotoGP isn't completely sure. In the past, there was a try to bring together F1 and MotoGP under one owner, but it didn't happen. This happened in 2006 when CVC Capital tried to buy both, but it got stopped. The EU has rules against one company having too much control, so it raised concerns when CVC bought most of F1 and already owned MotoGP's promoter, Dorna. To solve this, CVC decided to sell its part of Dorna to focus on buying F1. Liberty Media wants to buy MotoGP, and they think they won't face the same problem. Liberty Media's top lawyer, Renee Wilm, talked about it during an investor call. She said, "The decision with CVC happened almost 20 years ago, and it didn't get looked into much. They quickly moved on. But things have changed a lot in the media world since then. We'll talk to regulators soon, and we're pretty sure we can get the deal approved quickly." Wilm said Liberty will ask the EU, UK, Brazil, and Australia for permission to buy MotoGP without breaking antitrust rules. Moreover, Liberty Media's CEO, Greg Maffei, thinks they won't have any problems getting approval. He mentioned talking to CVC's managers who were in a hurry to buy F1. Maffei said, "I remember speaking to the CVC management. They were under a tight time frame to get a deal done on buying F1, Maffei said on the same call. "We are very confident we will get this through regulators because we believe there is a broad market for sports and entertainment properties, of which Formula One and MotoGP are only a small subset. The market has continued to change since it was previously reviewed in a major way. We are going to not treat these as a bundle or try to bring them together in the market." Maffei also said Liberty Media doesn't want to make big changes to MotoGP. This might calm worries that they'll try to make MotoGP more like F1 with more races on city streets, but that's riskier for motorbike racers than for car racers. Liberty breaking F1 in America more the exception than the rule. Earlier this week, Liberty Media made headlines by announcing their acquisition of an 86% stake in Dorna Sports and the MotoGP World Championship, sealing the deal for a whopping €4.2 billion. With this significant ownership change, MotoGP aims to emulate Formula One's success in reaching a broader audience, following in the footsteps of F1's transformation under Liberty's ownership since 2016. The United States stands out as a crucial market for MotoGP, with the upcoming race scheduled at the Circuit of the Americas in Texas on April 14th. Moreover, Trackhouse Racing's acquisition of the former RNF Aprilia team now presents MotoGP with a team proudly displaying the stars and stripes. Carlos Ezpeleta, sporting director at Dorna, expresses confidence that MotoGP, under Liberty's guidance, can establish itself as a significant presence in the United States, aiming to become a benchmark in the country's motorsports landscape. Ezpeleta told Por Orejas that the first thing is that the interest in the United States is common to everyone, to all sports, no matter where their investors are from, and it is something that all sports want to do, to grow in the United States. He further said, "It is clear that having Liberty as a partner will surely facilitate this growth. We come from an important past in the United States. It surprises many people, even those of us who are in the World Championship, that the United States has had more champions in the Premier class than Spain, for example." He even mentioned that almost twice as many, in fact. So, an important part linked to that market is clearly interesting because it is a world leader culturally, socially, and economically, and also because of its economic impact on the business. So, what is of interest? Yes, it is also a market that a large part of it is located in a time zone that is positive for Europe. It is very good for Europe, so it is our market, it is still our main market. Furthermore, it's appealing for the United States to host races during European afternoon hours. That adds an interesting dimension. Additionally, seeing corporations investing in F1 teams and drivers is compelling. It's evident that Liberty's involvement can benefit us more than others. F1 now has a strong presence in the US with 3 events in Austin, Miami, and Las Vegas, plus races in Mexico and Canada. Meanwhile, MotoGP's presence in the Americas has been reduced to only the Austin race following the cancellation of the Argentina GP earlier this year. Also, we've been eyeing the US market for a while, but it's tough for all sports. What F1 achieved is more of an exception than the norm. Ezpeleta even said, "Growth in the United States for sports is quite challenging. Out of the 21 races we're holding this year, 20 are at times that don't fit well with American schedules, making it hard to gain traction there. Americans also see MotoGP as a different sport compared to what they're used to. However, MotoGP has unique qualities that could appeal to the US audience. Unlike Formula One with NASCAR or IndyCar, no strong national competition exists. MotoGP is the global leader in motorcycle racing. What we lack is visibility in the US. Moreover, MotoGP offers a simple and easy-to-understand product. Races are relatively short, which is great for young and American audiences. With these strengths and the core values of sports, we believe we can become a significant presence in the US market." So what do you think of the radical agenda of Liberty Media for new F1 weekend formats? Comment below and subscribe for more.